Hello, this is Long Island Outdoorsman, and today we're going to be talking about the Daiwa Tanacom. Currently have one of these in stock, and if you wanted to, we could spool it up with whatever if we're going to have it get shipped. Now, these reels, you're going to mostly be using them in about 200 feet of water or more. Typically around here, when we fish for tilefish, barrelfish, and other deep water species like that, we're usually fishing of upwards of about 600 feet of water. And to be honest, a reel like this is really just necessary. Now, we'll look at the reel real quick, but the alternatives would be like a Shimano Dakota, like 800, or basically a reel that's going to be about this large that can hold upwards of 900 feet of water.
900 yards
of line. Yeah, this can hold up to 900, sometimes even 1,000 yards of line if you got about like 50-pound braid. Now, like I said, with the alternatives, you're not really going to have the accelerator knob here, and really that's what the main advantage with this reel compared to other things. If you're going to be having a manual or I guess traditional conventional reel, you're going to be wasting a lot of time reeling up a 2-pound weight or 3-pound weight all day, and you're not going to be in the water long enough to get all of those bites that the other people are getting. You'll be at like a major disadvantage that way. And to be honest, after like maybe an hour, hour and a half, that's enough to get you tired, because you're going to be dropping, you're going to be bringing it up, dropping and bringing it up. You'll just be wasting too much time doing that. So these reels, zoom in here, you're going to hook it up to a 12-volt battery, and this is the accelerator knob. So all you have to do is push this forward, and then the reel starts engaging. Of course, too, you'd have to adjust your drag so that you could bring up the weight plus a fish. And this display here will show you how much line you have in the water and how close you are actually to the boat, which can be very helpful because you'll see this number slowly start to go down. And as long as you have it zeroed in to when you first dropped it, you'll know that you have 50 yards left. That way you're not bringing it all the way up and you accidentally hit your swivel onto your guides or something. So that could also be very helpful. Now, personally, we've used these reels ourselves and caught tilefish, barrelfish, rosy fish, and that's locally what we mostly do around here with a reel that's about this size. I could show some images of that now. Now we can cut. So these are pictures of us going through the Starship fleet and going for tilefish, cod, fluke out of Nantucket, and everyone did really good and caught lots of keepers. But the predominant reel that we were seeing people use was the Tanacom. That was what we were using. That was what people around us were using. Honestly, it's basically necessary on a trip like that when you're fishing all day. Here I'm going through how some of the parts of the reel work, like the acceleration lever, as well as the free spool lever. But big thing with that acceleration lever is that you got to make sure you don't put it up all the way. Because even if you don't got a fish on, you're going to end up getting forced. Like the rod's going to be forced onto the railing of the boat. And then especially when you do got a fish on, because that might just rip the hook right out of its mouth. Here is a size comparison for the kind of weights that you'll be using. And lastly, I go through and kind of zoom in on what the display looks like. You could zero it in, so when you got the weight or your rig right next to the boat, that's when you zero it in at 0 yards, and then of course when you drop down, it's going to count how many yards you got in the water. And if you're interested in the reel, consider going to our website or seeing us in the store at 434 Sunrise Highway, Rockville Center.